Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the KOY Jumuiya monthly podcast. Thanks for joining us. This will be a monthly roundup of everything happening within the KOY network ecosystem, from the developers, block producers, the KOY corporate, and the KOY Jumuiya DAO. First of all, I would like to ask you to share this podcast just to spread the love, and also if you follow KOY Network and KOY Jumuiya on social media, we will appreciate it a lot. We are on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, as well as X, which is the old Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn, and Facebook pages. So you got a lot of things to choose from. Before we dive in, could all of our speakers quickly introduce themselves and their involvement on KOY Network? I will start with myself. I'm Neo, part of the KOY Jumuiya DAO team, and I'm involved here with content creation, especially videos and podcasts, as well as social media accounts like YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, and Threads. Yeah, quite a lot. What about you guys? Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Richard Ericodi, and I'm the CEO of KOY Network Limited. This is a corporate arm of our ecosystem, and I do various jobs. I'm privileged to work with all the teams, actually, our devs in terms of development of dApps as well as protocol, our marketing teams, and our DAO. So I'm quite privileged to work with such talented teams and the people involved with them. Thank you very much, Nia, for welcoming me to your podcast.
Hi, everyone. My name is Betty Waitherero, and I am the leader for the KOY Jumuiya DAO. And I'm very happy to be on this podcast, which I see is monthly. So I'm going to be here with you every month.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I think that with all of this introduction and everything, we are actually ready to dive in. So let's go. I've got a first question here that I would like to ask you. There is a story about the journey to KOY 2.0 mainnet. Maybe briefly, you can take us through what happened that led the KOY network to reach that decision and build out the KOY 2.0 blockchain.
Thank you, Neo, for your first question there. We've got a bit of a history around our blockchain. The project started in January 2023. Prior to that, I'd done some of the prior work setting up various aspects of our project before joining up with our previous CTO to start building out the platform. 2023 went quite well throughout the year. We started building. We ran a few fairly successful campaigns, including the Antelope Access, which was fantastic. However, getting into Q4, we had a discussion about renegotiating our partnership, reorganizing our business relationship within our organization, and we started negotiations then, around October, November, and these carried on until January or thereabouts, at which point our relationship, my relationship with my CTO had more or less broken down, and we were trying to figure out how to find an amicable settlement to the situation without hurting the project, and in making sure, my intention was to make sure that the project continued, and but unfortunately that didn't go as well as I thought it would, and by the 18th of January, relationship had broken down irretrievably, and as an organization, we lost access to our infrastructure, digital assets, and everything else, which had been seized by our technical partners. It's a traumatic point, but we managed to get through it. And through that experience, we took an audit. We looked at our business top to bottom, internally, as well as instructed a blockchain audit, an independent assessor, who looked at KOY 1.0, which is our old blockchain. We tasked them with assessing it and writing a report that would help us making decisions about a way forward with it. The report wasn't great. There are certain issues with our blockchain, and it was at that point that we actually abandoned the quest to get it back and made the decision to build a new blockchain, and with new designs, new controls, just to make sure that it met all the new requirements as well as the old vision. And that is how we ended up with KOY 2.0. The redesign and the overall analysis of our business led us to finding ways of improving our processes, as well as the overall offering that would put forward to the industry and our community. So it was a good opportunity to bring in wholesale improvements. Also, at this moment, I think I should take the opportunity to thank our community and everyone that supported us during that time. Members of the KOY Jumuiya, participants of the Antelope Access Program, our DAO leads, and most importantly, my colleagues from across the Antelope landscape that reached out directly to offer practical support, as well as just encouragement. We are eternally grateful, and personally, I would like to send my gratitude to all of you for seeing us through this trying period.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was kind of a hard time for the team, for ambassadors, and for DAO as well. Would you like to add something more, Betty, to this one?
I mean, he has covered in generally. I'd say that I have to emphasize on our gratitude to our supporters across the Antelope ecosystem, not only during this crisis that occurred in January, but even before that, we had a lot of, consistent support pouring in from our colleagues across the Antelope ecosystem, especially during the Antelope Access. There's a lot of keen supporters, and for that we're very grateful. And over and above that is just the confidence that they've shown in this project, and the capabilities of the project leaders, and especially the CEO. So far, so good. And I have to say that I think that confidence is not unwarranted. Of course, he has demonstrated his capabilities, and as we had mentioned through the several community updates, the business itself remains intact. And what had to happen is rebuild of the infrastructure that unfortunately was stolen and damaged thereafter. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Betty. Yeah, I think that we kind of explain everything about this topic, and we can follow another question, right? Let's get to it. So the next question is, for the account holders and investors, what do they have to do now in order to ensure they have secured their accounts and their coin tokens?
Good question. Generally, just due to the value of the assets involved, my advice normally is manage your keys. Manage your keys securely, and only utilize industry-recognized wallets. To that end, what we've done is that we've engaged with lead wallet developers, Greymass, to incorporate KOY Network onto the Anchor wallet. They're good. They've been in the industry since the beginning of this protocol. Their products are trusted, and we're working hard to get on there. That will help secure our users' interaction with our blockchain, which is important. Users should also learn and practice good key hygiene, which is important. It's technical, we understand, and because of that, we're also planning to run some workshops, especially in conjunction with the DAO, to assist anyone that needs to learn some of these skills. And also, members of the community that have these skills are encouraged to share best practice with others so that collectively we can secure our ecosystem. But obviously, as an organization, we're doing everything we can to make sure that everyone is safe. The blockchain is secure, it's running well, and we're employing industry leading technologies and block producers, as well as constant monitoring of the blockchain to make sure that everything is safe and secure. Also, the final thing I recommend is that users should regularly review their keys, how they're stored, and if they suspect the keys are ended up in the wrong hands, to change them where possible. I think there's a few safe things they could do to secure their accounts.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, like there is this sentence that's going online, not your keys, not your crypto, right? Or not your tokens, or not your coins.
Indeed, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Betty, would you like to add something to it?
Yes, we will be doing, other than the workshops, we will be doing tutorials just to demonstrate the capacity that Anchor Wallet has for people to be able to manage their keys and practice that strict, key hygiene. It's important for, we have a variety of people who are coming on board. So we have our early buds who are coming from the Antelope ecosystem. But then we now have reached the phase where we are encouraging people from across the world to participate in our testnet campaign. And these are newcomers to Antelope. So it's important that we just go over how people can utilize Anchor Wallet to its full capacity, and we'll be doing tutorials on that so that they can also practice at very strict key hygiene. But of course, like you said, not your keys, not your wallet. This is pure crypto. Once you have given us your public keys, your account is set up, and then from that point onwards, we do not have access to your account. We do not have access to your tokens. You have to keep your private keys very, very securely. And the best way to do that, of course, is to import into Anchor Wallet onto your desktop. Correct, Richard?
Yeah, that's very correct. And the other thing I need to add to that is that the Antelope protocol has a very powerful permission structure built into it. For those that are advanced users of keys, you can utilize your keys and overall permissions and weightings attached to keys to really secure your account. I've seen people that can, using the key permissions, they've managed to dictate the destination wallet in terms of sending funds from one wallet to another, which I thought was quite a neat way of making sure that if one wallet is compromised, you still secure your funds. But yeah, I would encourage everyone to take a look at that. The permission structure is quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep yourself secure. This is very important. As long as you can have your keys, passphrases, whatever you got over there offline, this is actually the best. But whatever you do, it is up to you. We can only just spread the knowledge and education around, right? Okay, so I'm pretty sure that Betty will be happy about the next question because it's about the DAO. So I got it here for you. How about the KOY Jumuiya DAO? Now that the DAO has an expanded role, what are the next steps?
Okay, this is a very good question. And actually, I remember some of the questions that we had before this crisis for the DAO, questions around sustainability. And you have to remember that this DAO is not the one that issued the KOY token, the coin. Rather, the coin was issued by the KOY corporate. So the DAO is a community of investors, developers, and enthusiasts that have are primary investors, early bird investors, and therefore, we didn't issue the token. We don't have access to public funds, unlike other DAOs where they issue the token and therefore the community can allocate funds from the blockchain to the DAO. So what happens with KOY Jumuiya is the KOY corporate will, in their wisdom, allocate an endowment to the DAO, but the DAO itself has to get onto a path towards sustainability, and we are already on that journey. Part of this includes this expanded role. We will now, I think I mentioned it in one other AMA, but I'll just talk about it here. We'll now have a startup committee. We are making sure that we are registered as a legal entity, and we've selected the jurisdiction in which we will be doing that. And then also the startup committee is going to set up functions of the DAO that are related to its, symbiotic partnership with the KOY corporate. And that includes marketing specifically. So we'll have our marketing DAO within KOY Jumuiya. And then there'll be also these other roles that the DAO has to perform, being financially accountable and so on. So you'll have a financial DAO. We'll also have a place for all these different groups of community members. So our first DAO that we are going to be supporting is the Block Producers DAO. And speaking about this, again, part of the expanded role for the KOY Jumuiya DAO is that the DAO has now the opportunity to select and via election nominate our own DAO nominated block producers. So what does this mean? So normally there will be a KOY corporate, there will be the KOY corporate team of block producers. Is a block producers working with the KOY corporate, but then there are also block producers who will be nominated by the DAO to work with the corporate team, and we will create a pathway where they can eventually become long-term producers with the corporate team. So if I'm not wrong, at the moment we have a total of 5 block producers as we decentralize as the corporate decentralizes the blockchain. And then, so out of those 5, I believe 2 are going to be nominated by the DAO. So that's the first DAO within the DAO that we are going to set up and provide the governance tools, voting mechanisms for the community, and so on. And then, of course, after that, we are looking to create and support a dev DAO. And that, of course, is going to be led by the dev team as they become more active participants within the community. And finally, one of my dreams hopefully will come true. I have always wanted to have a climate impact DAO, and as we continue with the building out the ecosystem, we should have partnerships coming in with businesses and organizations that are interested in climate action, environmental action, and so on. So I'm looking forward to having that opportunity to just see if we can create some sort of organization for people interested in environmental causes. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's the kind of vision that is coming, that's being built with the KOY Jumuiya DAO. Richard, do you have anything to add?
Yes, please. Yeah, thanks for that, Betty. Just quickly, just in terms of timings, our roadmap has been offset by a few months, maybe 3 to 6 months, depending on what it is due to the crisis. But we're back on track. We have to rebuild the infrastructure to then start moving forward. And that's done in phases. We're currently in phase 3. And at a later conversation, Neo, we could go through the phases so that you can, one, see where we're coming from, and also for your listeners to see where we're going. So currently at phase 3, our mainnet is stable. The system smart contracts have been deployed, most of them. There'll be more coming through, but the platform is now ready for phase 3, which is it involves a utility smart contracts. And some of these will be useful to facilitate the DAO to become active on the network. And this is some of the work that we planned to do in January, but we couldn't. Now we're doing it in end of April, maybe through May. We'll see how long it takes, but that work is in progress, and the DAO should now be able to start deploying directly on chain. And also, as part of our system redesign, like Betty said, we've introduced and accelerated our decentralization initiatives to ensure the long-term security and viability of our platform. One of the biggest issues in January was because we were not decentralized, we couldn't then recover our platform. But now that we are, it's quite interesting. It gives it longevity, and the DAO sits firmly at the center of this decentralization as a key interface between the blockchain organization and the community. And while the DAO runs awareness campaigns, like Betty mentioned, I'm also expecting to see the nomination of the community BP, which will be a key component of our infrastructure, because if there's a major disaster, or obviously not similar as what happened in January, but if, say, that happened again, the community block producer will actually be reporting to the DAO. So they will have the infrastructure with them to then continue. And that then gives it the fail-safe that we're looking for. And over time, you might be able to nominate a few more as our ecosystem grows, just to make sure that we've got the right level of backups throughout, or redundancy throughout our platform. And yeah, we should see a series of DAOs launching, some with very specialist or specialized initiatives and focus. So I'm looking forward to that when it comes through, and we'll support it as we go along as a KOY corporate.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your answers. Sounds very exciting, and I am also looking forward for the future, right? I think all of us, as well as our teams, ambassadors, and basically anyone who is involved into KOY as well. Right. I got another question here. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the kinds of businesses that we should expect to come on board after IEO. And for those of you who don't know, IEO stands for Initial Exchange Offering.
Yeah, thanks, Neo. KOY 2.0 blockchain is built to support enterprise businesses, mainly within fintech, but as well as in the service industry. Some of these businesses coming to our ecosystem will be the ones operating within what we'd call the mobile financial services, and that's in Africa, providing mobile money solutions, as well as international money remitters, several renewable energy players that will include equipment suppliers, as well as certification, accreditation organizations, and also members of the blue economy businesses. Betty will be able to expand on that a bit more. It's our area of expertise. And that will include recyclers, carbon credit trackers, as well as managers. Alongside all these, there is at least one IoT business that is very interested in our IoT, which is Internet of Trusted Things offering for device management as well as secure communication between remote devices. So there'll be quite a varied group of businesses coming through. And for me, the stranger the business or the more unique the business, the more attracted I am to it. So we'll be speaking to everyone. Our blockchain is designed and optimized to support any type of business. And, and our developers are ready to carry out the integration. The more challenging, the better.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting times for KOY ecosystem. Just to some of the businesses that are coming on board are completely new to blockchain, and this is the exciting part. We're observing businesses that traditionally don't actually even use Web 2. And they're, doing the leapfrog, the quantum leap straight into Web3, and being able to tokenize their assets, their approach, and providing them a way to commercialize in interesting ways. Just to talk a bit about the blue economy, that includes, being able to enabling communities, and that comes under Green Trace, but to enable communities to participate in things such as beach waste cleanup and plastic recycling and so on. And it's going to be very exciting. I really, the funny thing is, just before the launch, I can't talk about it, but I want to. But just to give you a hint, it's some of the businesses have already been in working within the Antelope ecosystem, and some have not. And I think that makes it very exciting just to see how everything's going to play out for them. In terms of the offering that KOY Corporate has provided, there's so many services that are being given out in terms of their bouquet. And what's the interesting part is how these businesses, once you explain how it can work for them, how these businesses are quick to adopt and basically come on board. The eagerness is what's really exciting for us. And I suppose some of that comes from the fact that, the KOY Corporate has gone to the lengths of ensuring that they're licensed, that they're properly registered, and that they have a real world footprint within the African economies that the client decentralized applications are coming from. And so those are the sort of firm foundation that KOY Corporate offers these businesses, and I suppose that's what's allowing them to do the leapfrogging straight from Web 0 into Web 3. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much again for your answers and for the knowledge and the information for the community, because that's exactly what and why we are doing the content, podcast, videos, etc. And we also got the social medias, of course, and this is the best place if you are looking for information. So we would like to invite you again to follow the KOY network, KOY Jumuiya social medias up there. We are on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. So we are basically everywhere. Okay, I think that we can get to another question, which is very interesting as well, in my opinion. So, how can the community get involved? How can we actively participate in the journey for KOY 2.0? Are there going to be job opportunities with the DAO or the corporate?
That's a good question. I'll answer for the corporate, definitely. As an ecosystem, we are grateful for the contribution that our community has made thus far. And we are creating opportunities for further involvement from the community all the time. Only this week, we launched the testnet campaign as a collective effort to improve our tooling and products by way of community involvement. The encourage everyone to please stay tuned, as there will be numerous other campaigns coming through. Some are very exciting. I can't wait to see them being rolled out. In terms of employment opportunities within the blockchain organization, I can confirm that we will be launching a recruitment drive following the listing event. And the idea here is to strengthen our team and to enable us to successfully launch the next phase of the business, which will be our growth part of it. So we'll need many hands. We'll be going into many different markets, building all sorts of tools, but there'll be more information closer to the time. But definitely we will have employment opportunities within the blockchain organization. That's done in CVs. We're looking for highly skilled people with very flexible approach to their work.
That's fantastic. I'll speak a bit about the DAO and what opportunities are there. Just like with any other DAO, how it works is, the more you contribute your time, your effort, your work, the more you get an opportunity to earn tokens and to, be a significant member of the DAO to the point of being elected into a governor position. So that's the same thing that will be going on with the DAO. I did mention earlier that there are going to be a number of DAOs that are going to be created underneath the umbrella of the KOY Jumuiya. And those are the opportunities for members to actually actively participate, become more interested. And I'll give an example. Under the Block Producer DAO, there will be a Block Producer Academy. And it's an opportunity for people who are interested in the business of providing infrastructure to get a chance to be an apprentice, a chance to learn how to do it within a blockchain that is running Antelope protocol. And also, of course, to a specific regulatory requirement level, that kind of professionalism that will be expected. So it's just one of the many opportunities that will be coming up. We're looking at, and we had this discussion with Richard the other day, we're looking at providing opportunities for apprenticeship for young people who are either just coming out of high school or just coming out of university and they have an interest in becoming blockchain devs. We're looking at creating opportunities for training programs and so on. Of course, all this takes time. It does take effort on our part to build this. So there are people within the community who are already devs, who are already, you're already ahead, you're already senior engineers. It would be great if you can help with creating the sort of educational programs that can target young people and build more devs. And this is in particularly very important for Africa. We just want to increase our diversity in terms of which devs we have. Although the KOY corporate can attest that their current team, which is entirely in-house, is largely African. Right, Richard?
Indeed, that's correct. Did you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Fine, yeah.
Thank you very much. Definitely, from my standpoint, educating the new generations, right, about technology and about what's going on in the world, how world is changing, and how this technology is growing and going forward. We got the trends that are changing as well, like every year or every cycle or whatever you call this. specific, the ways of changing, right? I think that we might have a few more minutes for maybe one more question. We want to keep this podcast until like up to 45 minutes, but I think that we still got like a few minutes for the one extra question, and then we will slowly going until the end. So I got this question here. What were the main obstacles you had to overcome during the development of KOY 2.0?
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, well, with any project, there are always challenges, and I think the beauty is in how you overcome them. But as with all blockchains, there were challenges on this one as we commenced. But our main challenges were, for me, one of the most challenging part of it was identifying and engaging blockchain developers that had the correct level of expertise to build exactly what we were looking for, and also considering where we were coming from. It was a very specific brief for them, and the blockchain expertise, as in the answers to the previous questions, is something that we're discussing within our organizations, how to improve the depth and breadth of the talent pool. It's very, these skills are quite rare, and one of the contributions to it will be in trying to deepen the pool as much as possible. And with that in mind, we went through a situation where we were looking, it was a global search for the competent blockchain developers to help us rebuild. So that was an important challenge that we successfully overcame, which was good. But also, because of the situation, we had to reconfigure the entire team following the assessment, carry out quick recruitment of the right people, bring operations in-house, the technical operations, and also we've also redesigned and strengthened our procurement processes, which is not an easy job, but it was important to conclude because we were looking to cure certain issues that had cropped up. And with it, we've now built resilience into our business, and all this is supporting the continuity of everything we're doing and the security of our assets. And, to add on to that, the time pressure, all this was completed at a time of intense pressure, generally, but also we had a very small window in which to achieve some of the milestones that we've covered so far. So, and I could only manage to overcome these, not by myself, but by having a good, strong team around me. And together, we've managed to overcome these challenges. I'm sure there'll be more, but now I'm confident whatever comes our way, we'll be able to overcome it. We've built the necessary resilience required to overcome these things.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Betty, would you like to add something?
I feel that, it has taken, I feel that, to be honest, was unnecessary. But, the lessons learned have been quite intense. For the DAO, we have completely changed our view of how communities need to be run, and what we mean by democracy. And we also believe that we can set rules for ourselves, and especially when we have to protect the interests of our investors primarily, because that's why we are here. That's why the community exists. It's not just to have a DAO for the sake of, but actually to have the investors' interests at heart. And of course, that involves the health and the resilience of the KOY 2.0 blockchain and the KOY corporate, the KOY network ecosystem at large. So for us, it's been an honor to support Richard and the KOY network as they recover in terms of recover the infrastructure, rebuild, and of course source the right people to work with. And like I said, it's been a great lesson, many lessons that we have learned. And it has also shaped the way that this community is being, the culture that we're creating within the community, of which, now we are global, of course, but we do have our African roots in terms of how we deal with things. And we want to bring that, more, that vibrancy, bring it to life more as we go forward. There was a question you asked about the IEO, and I feel like it's important for me to mention that it's the community's, steadfast support that has gotten us this far, and we're looking forward to them, our investors, gaining from the KOY corporate getting to the IEO, the tokens reaching the various exchanges, and of course, shooting upwards. And I'm confident that the DAO and the kind of mix that we have, and the kind of proposals that are coming through as they materialize, I think that will directly also contribute to the success of the IEO when we get there. So yeah, for me, I feel that it's been a journey. I felt that it wasn't necessary. I think that this was gravely mishandled by the former technical contractor. And I believe that it's important that we take those lessons and, use them to further strengthen the community and our relationships and our culture. For us, we feel that fairness and opportunity is what the community requires. We want a situation where people have a place that they can freely express themselves through the work that they do and through the decentralized applications that they're creating. And to this end, I'd like to make an open invitation to community members that have an idea, a business that they want to take to Web3, whether it be an NFT-based project or actually an online business that they're looking for support. It'd be great for us to have those conversations, because that's also part of the DAO interest and responsibility to support our community businesses. Great. That's it from me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, we can say we came back stronger than ever after all of the issues. Right, we're getting close to the end. I've got the last question here, the last conclusion. How do you see KOY 2.0 5 years from now?
5 years is a long time in crypto, definitely, and blockchains. But because of supporting legacy businesses which take time to turn, I think I can safely say KOY Network will be here, and with any luck will be the backbone of trade throughout Africa, whilst connecting its diaspora and international businesses to users both at home and abroad. We want to form the key infrastructure that promotes trade, especially within Africa, which is in dire need of good, reliable infrastructure that provides for cross-border payments, trade finance, and various other activities that are currently not taking place between most countries. I still find it ridiculous that if someone wants to send a large amount of money from, say, Nairobi in Kenya to Togo, someplace like that, it has to go to Europe first before it goes back to Africa. And that also applies to travel. So hopefully we'll be part of that progression. It's already coming through. We can see the green shoots. and we want to play a strong part in it. So in 5 years' time, KOY Network will be fully embedded.
Thank you. Betty, would you like to add something, like a last conclusion here?
Well, in 5 years' time, KOY Jumuiya will be, step by step in tandem. I do expect that this will not be the only version of KOY network, KOY blockchain. So we are at 2.0. In 5 years' time, we might be at KOY 5.0. And for me, with the DAO, I expect us to have expanded in terms of our membership and in terms of our reach globally. I expect to have a KOY DAO, from the Middle East, and one that's European, and the different DAO organizations running themselves independently and decentralized, and having their own sort of sustainability going on with them. So the Europeans might decide to have their own sort of KOY DAO that is maybe slightly different from the Africans. The people in the Middle East might have a different DAO, and so on. Really looking forward to seeing a DAO coming out of the Philippines. I think that we haven't mentioned that we do have a strong team from the Philippines, and we're looking forward to including the Asian continent within our DAO. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing within the next 5 years.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, we get basically until the end of this episode. Would you like to add something still? Maybe some, how they call it, the shilling mode, like where is the best place to find the information about KOY?
Our KOY network, koynetwork.io website is in development. Elements of it are already available, Block Explorer and online documentation, the repository for various bits of information. So by all means, visit koynetwork.io for links to the other parts of our website. The new website will be published next week. We're still reviewing it, and so it should be good. Failing that, join our KOY Jumuiya DAO Telegram group. There's a lot of information there, and follow us on social media.
I would like to say that I'd like to encourage you to actually take part in the testnet campaign. This is your opportunity. If you don't have a KOY account, this is your opportunity to get one set up for you, and also have fun testing out our staking app. You will receive about 100 coin into your new account. And so, follow the KOY 2.0 Twitter account and the KOY Jumuiya Twitter account for more information on how you can do this. There's a step-by-step user guide, and all the documents are provided for you. And we're looking forward to more people just taking part in this testnet campaign. And, and there are rewards to be won as well.
Okay, thank you. I would like to add something as well. So KOY Jumuiya DAO website, it's still in development, but you can find us on YouTube, X, like the old Twitter, right? Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and Medium. So yeah, I think that we will cut this episode. Thank you very much, Betty. Thank you very much, Richard. And for all of you up there that are listening to it, thank you very much for your time, and see you in the next one.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Leo, and thank you, Richard. This has been great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.